Let's take a look at the service and maintenance related functionality in JobPro. With the ability in JobPro to track items by serial number in the Units module, including customer assets. So for example, if you've sold an item or a piece of equipment to a customer, you can track that in here, and from the customer screen you can also create a service or a maintenance job relating to a specific item for that customer. So it could be a maintenance job in advance or just a general service where something needs to be repaired in relation to that equipment. So first let's take a look at the products module. So for every product that you have in the system, you can track that by serial number. So on the general tab you can specify that you track this item individually and that serial numbers are generated automatically. So let's say that you sell these items to customers and you also may need to service them as well. So if we take a look at the Units or Serials tab, we can see various items that are currently in stock from a sell point of view, but we can also see two items here that have currently been sold and are at the customer's location. So we click on one of these, we'll be brought into the Units module to view that individual item, and we can see that it was drop shipped on a purchase order direct to the customer. We can also view the customer screen by clicking on the link here. Now we're in the customer or the company file. So on the products tab on the customer screen, we can see any assets relating to that customer, whether we sold them to the customer or they introduced them into the system by basically adding or asking you to do a service or a maintenance job on a piece of equipment that they bought elsewhere. So if you need to do a service or maintenance job on a piece of equipment for a customer, you can simply click the plus button in the portal for the assets for that customer under the column on the right hand side. So let's say that we need to do a service job on this one here. Click on plus. We create the job. Now we're brought into the job screen. So the company has automatically been linked to the job here, and on the resources tab that piece of equipment has automatically been added in. So in here we can also add in relevant contacts that are going to be relating to this job or this service or maintenance. We can put in dates, start and finish times, and we can also then log any chargeable costs or parts that might have been used in relation to this repair, service or maintenance job. So let's add in a contact, but we'll set the finish date to be today as well. When we click on add contact, it'll only show us contacts that are available during these dates that aren't already booked in as resources on other jobs or tasks. So we'll select this contact here. So in relation to the service or maintenance job, we can log information like any time logs that have been incurred doing this work, any costs, where you can add an expense item. You could manually type in the description, or you could select from codes in the products module, like any parts that you might have used up in relation to the service. Entering any parts here will also reduce those parts from stock as well. So let's just fill in a few of the other fields. We can say that this is in progress. Now there's a few ways you can log time against this job. One of them is specifically on the job screen. We can create a new record, link it to the relevant contact, and put in the time that it took. So let's say 1 hour. We could also log time on the quick view screen in Home. So if every user enters in their time logs throughout the day as they do the work, they can do it from here. And they can also do it from the calendar as well on the time log tab there. And they can link then the time log to a job or to a relevant task. So let's go back into jobs. And let's say that we've incurred a couple of costs on this job. So we might put in a relevant part that might have been used, put in a quantity of 1, and it's saying there's no stock available for this product. Okay, so for any particular parts you would have set up stock either as an opening balance when you start to use the system, or by purchasing items they'd have been received in on purchase orders that would increase stock. You can also create purchase orders relating to this job as well. They'll appear in here, adding up your total costs on the right hand side. So when the job is finished, or whenever you want to invoice out, you can simply do it by, well, one option would be going into the Invoices module and manually creating an invoice from there, or alternatively from the job itself you can click on Invoices and you can create an invoice from Costs. And that will show you each relevant part of the system that's incurs costs that could be related to this job, like purchase orders, billable expenses like parts that have been used, resources that have been used on the job like a person, and also billable time logs as well. So we'd click continue and that would create an invoice and flag all those costs as charged or billed. So let's go back to the Resources tab, and in here we can take a look at the piece of equipment directly by clicking on the arrow. That brings us back into the Units module, where we can see the full history for that particular item. We can click on the arrow to see where it was used on a specific job. Current location is job number 55, so we can click on the link to go directly back to the job from there. So when the job is complete, then we can update the status. So there's lots of other functionality in the Jobs module that you'd make great use of in relation to managing service or maintenance type jobs. That functionality is covered in other video tutorials. For example, just being able to track tasks and stages relating to a job, budgeting, tracking costs, sales orders, shipping, and lots of other areas that may be of use as well. But that just pretty much covers the service and maintenance related functionality in JobPro, which is primarily using the resources functionality.